Mufti Yahya who's joining us from Mumbai, is the Sharia scholar and a business consultant. He is also into various related fields on dispute resolution and other areas on Islamic finance. He is the founder of Sharia Cap, an advisory firm based out of Mumbai. And he also has an NGO called Be Human Foundation for the benefit of counseling and training youth in important areas. Jazakallah khair. With this very brief introduction of Mufti Sahib, please, you should highlight us on the Sharia stocks or on the stock permitted practices in that area. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, Bhai. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa wala. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أحل الله البيع وحرم الربا. The topic that we have selected for discussion today is the stock markets. So in this today in this discussion, I will just take a very basic, the concept of the stock market and why it should be permissible. We won't be going into technicalities now. Probably in the future sessions, inshallah, we'll delve into that. So with regards to the stock market and the regulations that the scholars have put with regards to the stock market, many a time makes a person fathom, I think, that why is this, this leeway being given? Because if you look at the general, the entire market, this entire system that we have, rarely would you find a company wherein you would like to buy one of its shares, that company will be totally riba free. So there is a tolerable percentage, and in other words, there is something that is totally prohibited. But on the other hand, there is a leeway being given. So the question arises in many people's minds that what is the reasoning behind it? Obviously, riba, when we say it is haram, and it is haram, it is prohibited. So just like riba, 20% or 30% or 40% would be prohibited. In the same way, 1% is also prohibited. In fact, 0.1% is also prohibited. So a glass or a bottle of alcohol is prohibited. So even one drop is also prohibited. So why the distinction? And to answer this question, I would like to first begin with a background with regards to the Indian financial system, or actually the financial system that became prevalent after the 17th century, the Industrial Revolution. It basically has three core components. The first component is the banking system. Now we all know that a conventional banking system is based on riba. So the basic lending and borrowing on with surplus is basically riba. And the basis of it, so the core component of the banking system is riba. And hence, there is no way that we can benefit from it, and unless obviously it is Islamized and it is the contracts are changed. And there, the governing body for the banking system here in India is the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India. Another system within that, the Indian financial system we find is the insurance system. We have the insurance authority, and as most of us are aware, that the basis of insurance itself is also based on riba and qimar. And then there is this third option, or this third component of the economy, and that is the capital markets. So when the ulama ikram analyzed the capital markets, they saw that inherently the capital markets is Sharia compliant, meaning at the core, it is a musharaka contract. It is a contract of shirka. And the contract of shirka is not only permissible, rather it has been encouraged by the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself got involved in the contract of shirka. So this was one option wherein intrinsically it was halal, it was permissible, and there were obviously external factors which were affecting the ruling and the permissibility. So this was the option that the ulama ikram saw that we can extrapolate on it and go further with regards to the inclusion of the masses in the economic system. Because if you look at these three systems, we will find that this capital markets has a great significance, and it is basically connected to the economy of a country. If a person says it is a lifeline of the economy, this won't be an exaggeration. Because majority of the companies, the major companies of a country, sectors that are basically not replaceable, energy sectors, then we have those sectors that are being or providing energy or sources to all other sectors, especially with regards to the government funding, and we can go on. Another aspect that the ulama ikram had in mind is when we speak about a need or a necessity. So there is a person, when we look at the Sharia, there is something which is known as the darura or a haja. So al-darurat tubihu al-mahdurat. There is a legal maxim of the fuqaha ikram, the Sharia, which is based on many nusus al-hadith. So something which is a need or a necessity, will make something which is prohibited something permissible. So a prohibited action might become permissible due to a need or a necessity. Now, where does the need or necessity come here? Ulama explain that there is an individual necessity and there is a collective necessity. So individual necessity is a person, he might incur into debt, and he might be in need of a certain financial amount due to financial constraints or due to dependence on him, and he might be given the permissibility of taking a loan, say for example, on interest. So looking at the condition, it would have been possible, because this is something that is permitted for him according to the scholars as well. But when we are speaking about the collective need of the ummah, we find that on the other hand, this holds more preference, because in Sharia, a collective a need or collective requirement is given precedence over an individual requirement. There are many instances wherein we will find that a ruling might harm an individual, but because it is for the benefit of the society, Sharia regards it as permissible. So here, ulama ikram saw that business or tijara is basically a collective need of the community. It is a collective need of the entire masses, of the entire Muslim ummah, so much so that we cannot say that you or the ummah, the entire ummah, should distance themselves from tijara. The entire ummah should distance themselves from any type of business activity, isolate themselves from the economy. So this was a collective need, wherein which required certain relaxations with regards to the prohibitions in this matter. So this wasn't an individual need, but rather a collective need that led to the ulama ikram stipulating certain conditions and certain relaxations in the prohibition. And once again, I would like to just go the previous week we discussed certain important topics with regards to gradual implementation. So ideally, we would never say that the current norms that the ulama ikram have stipulated with regards to the investment and the trading in shares, this isn't an ideal state. This is a passing stage. This is according to the current situation, the current economy. This is something which is supposed to be applied and will be regarded as Sharia compliant. And hence I would say that this aspect of Sharia compliance and the name and the term Sharia compliance is used. Because the Sharia compliance will say and will show that this is with regards to the current situation. Inshallah, hopefully, if the situation changes, and slowly, the intention is that we will move to the ideal, and that is the Islamization of the entire economy. So basically, this is something that generally we get queries now and then with regards to the basic understanding of the permissibility of the stock market. So this is important that when you have this background in mind, it will be easy for a person to understand that what is the reason why these permissions or these relaxations are being given. Another important aspect that we look at, especially in the Indian context here, we find that because the banking system is not an option for us, the insurance system, the insurance sector is also not an option. The only option we might have is the capital market. Hereby we find a lot of introduction of many Ponzi schemes that come up by the name of Islamic finance, by the name of interest-free, and then they come and siphon off great amount of wealth of the ummah. So when we, as ulama and financial scholars, we try and try to prevent this, prevent people from getting into this. The question that we are asked is that what is the option? What is the alternative that you have? So if you say that this is wrong and this is something which is going to harm your wealth, then the people say that we need an alternative. So what alternative are we going to provide? Because when we say that putting in the bank, that is it's amounting to interest, and that is 100% riba and that is haram. So when that is the case, insurance is also not an option. So where is the option? So obviously, there is an option, and this is the option with regards to investment, with regards to saving, and it is much, much better, much a better alternative than the Ponzi schemes that lead to a grave destruction of the capital and the financial capacity of the Ummah. This being said, inshallah, we would look into in detail thereafter that what exactly are those conditions that are stipulated by the ulama ikram with regards to the criteria. And when that criteria, when we discuss those criteria, there will be a certain type of we can say that because there are different criterias, a type of we will compare, like a comparison, and then ideally, what would be the ideal scenario for us, especially living in India, Indian subcontinent, the scholars of this area, this geographical area, what do they adhere to? And then how can we move forward, inshallah?